right, welcome back to the podcast. I'm
All right,
Zach.
shut up.
We have a very peaceful, meditative episode for you today. Um, I wanted to bring you some peace and some quiet today. No hot takes, just nice and smooth today. Isn't that right, Alex?
That's absolutely right. Um, Zach and I are coming into this episode. We both had long days and we just want to relax and bring the good vibes in this episode. So sit back, relax, and get ready to uh, enjoy the show.
Yeah. So we're coming off our week trial of meditation. Alex, how'd you fare this week?
I fared pretty well. I think I did 6 out of 7 days, doing 10 minutes a day of meditation. For me, I've been kind of meditating off and on for a while now, but it had been a while since I had consistently meditated up until a week ago. And having these 10 minutes a day really helped. I didn't really do them at a certain time of day. I wish I had planned it a bit more, but at least I did it.
Hmm.
And it definitely brought some calm. I actually did it before a class presentation, and I feel like my performance was much better. Normally, I can get a bit anxious and maybe stutter over some words, but I really felt a sense of calm and told myself while I was meditating that, the thing about these class presentations is you should take them seriously and you should prepare, but really just the teacher is listening,
Right.
and it's not that big a deal. It just, it's all going to be okay. And I reminded myself of that, and it went much better because of that. How was
Right.
the week for you?
It went pretty well. So I did. I have to admit, I missed a couple days here and there. Just kind of got caught up in the day and lost track of it. And I could see a big contrast between those days that I did meditate and that I didn't. Like you, I didn't really have a set time. I found the time that I meditated the most was kind of like mid afternoon, which to me is kind of the best time because that's when I'm a little stressed out at work. I've already done a lot of work that day. There becomes like a lull in the middle of the day. So like around lunchtime seemed to be the best for me to get that clarity and like relax myself. Because in the morning I usually go on runs and that's a little bit meditative for me as well. So I'm pretty relaxed once coming off that. But there was a huge difference. When I didn't meditate, I seemed stressed out. I was a little anxious. But at those days that I took that time for myself, even if it was 5 minutes, all the meditations I did were like very breath work focused. It calmed me after that, and I could slow down and kind of be more in the moment and not just picking up my phone and jittering the rest of the day. I'm rather just mindful of what I'm doing. So I would really like to bring it more into my day. I had this idea that I should do it in the morning, but I find myself not having time in the morning. So I think I'm going to set like an alarm for around like 1:30 every day. Kind of set that practice that way. Now let me ask you this, Alex. Did you do anything else besides breath work? I know in some of my meditations I've done like there's one called like love and kindness, or there's some like sensory ones where you look like the scenes around you or listen to things. Or what kind of practices did you do?
This week, mostly just breath work. Um, but I've done in the past. I did one called like something wide gaze, where essentially like you're looking out, preferably outside,
Hmm.
and you focus on something, and you kind of just focus on, let's say it's a tree, and on the cars, the people passing. You
Hmm.
know, they're your focus is not on them. Your focus is on this one object. Um, I found that to be pretty difficult
Mm.
personally. This week I just focused on breath work, and I started getting into like trying to count the numbers while I'm breathing,
Yes.
but also I would, lose my train of thought or something. I would kind of do some affirmations as well, like tell myself positive things. I think that
Hmm.
helped a lot. And I saw like a change in my mood a little bit. But there's also a lot of things like this week compared to last week. I was much more active,
Right.
getting into working out again. I think that really helped my state of mind as well.
Yeah. That could definitely increase it too. Like I said, I think working out a lot of time can be very meditative for people as well. Like a lot of people think meditations is just like you're sitting there saying Om for an hour, but it can be a lot of different things. There's even some like walking meditations I've seen before. But I tried a gratitude meditation this week, and I found that very beneficial. Like you just sit there and like think of some things you're grateful for in your life, and kind of reflect on them while doing some breath work. And it was it was very nice. It makes you like it gives you perspective on like how good you have it, even if you're struggling with something. It kind of puts everything back into perspective and a worldview. So I would definitely recommend that for anyone out there looking for a switch of mindset.
Perspective is so tricky, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
so easy to get caught up in these things that seem really important and really like uh, urgent.
Hmm.
But if you think about it, most of these things won't matter in a bit.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard to keep that in mind.
Right.
You
You
have
get
to
caught up in the
really
past
focus
or the
on it.
future, and like you could make yourself like catastrophic think. You can make it bigger than it actually is. So it is like that's why it's so important to take that moment. I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. This week was good. I got into some yoga as well, actually.
Mhm.
Today, was really lucky. I got a yoga class through a friend of a friend on Zoom, which was really different than anything
Hmm.
other type of yoga I've done before.
Have you done in person
Um,
yoga?
I have.
Hmm.
Um, I did like hot yoga once a few times, and like vinyasa flow in person a
Hmm.
bunch. But this was Zoom yoga, but this was really different than anything else I've done. It was like a slow release yoga, and what I've done in the past is like a slow release. You really hold a stretch for a long period of time and
Interesting.
breathe in. But this was even different from that. It was really relaxed. It was this older lady, and she had like six pillows, and she was saying, use the pillows. And one stretch was like, put the pillows on your lap and hug the pillows and like put your head down. And it was so relaxing. Like, I don't think it was a workout at all or like a great
Right.
stretch, but mentally it was so great. Um, I was came back from the library. Was didn't sleep very well last night, so I was pretty tired. And so in the beginning, she told us to like lay on our back, and she had this soothing voice. And long story short, I fell asleep. I woke up about a half hour later, and everyone's doing a different position.
Did
So
they
that was kind
notice
of
you
fun.
were asleep?
Well, so it's like there were five people, I think, five students and her, and everyone's on mute except for her. But you
Oh,
can
okay.
see who's doing what in the little,
In the little boxes. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm sure they noticed this guy didn't move, or if they're looking. I'm
You're
sure she
cracking up.
noticed if
Right.
no one else did. But yeah, I felt great after. I was
You
very
got a good nap in.
refreshed. Yeah.
Well, that's like at the end of a lot of yoga practices, they do the savasana, like where you kind of like lay on your back and just like close your eyes and meditate. And I've fallen asleep at that before because you're just sitting like in a dark room and it's got nice sounds and things like that, but never in the middle of a practice.
Yeah, this was like I said, it was really different yoga. Normally, that's how you finish the practice.
Right.
This practice we started like that, and then moved into essentially stretching slash pillow cuddling, which was also really nice.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good time.
Like a form of meditation.
Absolutely.
I've tried some like at home yoga, but only through YouTube. So that's interesting that they did it through Zoom. I like that better because it keeps you more accountable. Like if you're just doing a video, like you can kind of gaze off or like not be as in the moment. So I like that option of the Zoom yoga. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I also found it hard on YouTube, like for the longer yoga sessions,
Yeah.
like over 20 minutes. It's tough, like, because this is not a yoga setting I'm doing this in. I literally have like 4 feet between my like
Right.
drawer and my bed, like,
Yeah. A lot of
so
like yoga is the setting too. Like they have the essential oils going. You have like the nice peaceful music. So it's tough.
yeah, you can't really build this same environment at home.
No, it's definitely tough. And there's so many different practices too. Like I mean, you're saying you're doing hot yoga and this flow. Like it's it's so variable too. So I have found that as the toughest at home workout to do. Like stuff like hit workouts or like running obviously is really easy to do at home, or you can just do like body weight exercises, squats or lunges, push ups, anything like that. But yoga that's one that has eluded me at home for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. I think I could do it maybe in the living room or something, but when I have more space and maybe it's a different setting, just find it hard to focus like in my bedroom on
Hmm.
yoga. Just like I kind of find it hard to do homework in here or
Right.
do whatever.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are struggling with that right now because I've heard some from my coworkers, like their desk is in their bedroom, and so they feel like they always have to be on working or something like that. It's hard to have these spaces be conjoined into so many things. It's your workspace, it's your live space, it's your workout space. Like finding all of this room in your house, it's like it's hard to compartmentalize it. Um, so I think it's important to have a little bit of that separation in any way you can. I don't know. Maybe you light a candle next time you do yoga or something like that. Um,
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
But one great thing about this yoga class was um, Sally was her name, wrote,
Sally.
she didn't write this, she read a really nice poem from Daniel F. Mead. I'd like to read it to you and the audience.
Let's hear it.
Okay, like I said, this is from Daniel F. Mead. If you would grow by Daniel F. Mead. If you would grow to your best self, be patient, not demanding, accepting, not condemning, nurturing, not withholding, self marveling, not belittling, gently guiding, not pushing and punishing. For you are more sensitive than you know. Mankind is as tough as war, yet delicate as flowers. You cannot endure agonies, but we are open fully to only warmth and light. And our need to grow is as fragile as a fragrance dispersed by storms of will. To return only to those storms are still so. Accept, respect, and attend your sensitivity. A flower cannot be opened with a hammer.
Wow. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What do
Yeah.
you think about when you hear that, Zach? To put you on the spot here.
Well, to me, it the essential message there is to be kind to yourself. A lot of times I think we build up these expectations for ourselves, through social media, through expectations of friends and work, and especially during this time, it's a pandemic. I feel like we become hard on ourselves, but I don't think that's the right path to growth. I think the right path to growth is to be compassionate to yourself, to treat yourself like you would treat a friend or something like that. You're not going to be hard on your friend if you know they're on a growth path and they're trying your best. If you know that you're doing your best every single day, no matter what that is, maybe your best one day looks a lot different from the next, and of course it's going to look different from other people. So I think the essential message, especially it's important in these times, is to be compassionate to yourself and to not over expect things from yourself. To not build up this story in your mind that you need to be this certain way or this certain person, but rather just do your best in every moment you have.
I agree. I think you did a really good job summing that up there. One thing I would say about this is I think we live in a little bit of a um, instant gratification society,
Mm,
and this sort of personal growth is not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in a month, and it probably won't happen in a year. Uh, so
no.
I think it's about slow and steady consistency rather than expecting yourself to quit a bad habit in 3 days or lose 10 pounds in a week or I don't know,
Yeah.
finish one book a day reading or something like this.
That kind of
I
growth
think
is sustainable that way.
exactly. I think it's about building a structure for yourself that can enable long-term growth rather than short-term growth that uh, crumbles.
Right. To me, if you want to look into the short term, just look at what you do each day. Maybe set out a couple intentions for the day. Like say, I want to read a book today, and not read a full book, but rather just read. Even if you read a page, that's that's growth. Or meditate for a minute. Sit for a minute with your thoughts. Go on a run, even if it's half a mile, a quarter of a mile. It's just like small little goals you can reach each day, and then you get that beneficial, you feel accomplished, and it's building up to something bigger. I don't think it's helpful to always have these like huge, obviously it's nice to have huge goals you can reach one day, but don't force yourself to try to meet it in a certain time period. Like it's going to be a long steady growth, and if you have that short-term mind period, I think you can fall off a lot easier, and spiral down more, rather where you can just short attainable goals. To me, um, is the way to true long steady growth.
I think you're totally right. I mean, celebrating and owning these small victories is so much more rewarding than and motivating than saying like, oh, in 6 months I'm gonna be X, or I'm gonna know how to code, or whatever your goal is. I think saying, okay, I studied for a half hour today, really seriously, time for a break, or whatever it is you're working on. Stacking these little victories and reminding yourself, hey, I am on the right path. Hey, I am doing the right thing. This is going to be so much more conducive to growth than um, realizing large failures, or always saying, well, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. It's so much easier to quit when you just looking at the top of the mountain instead of,
Hmm.
the feet in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. You just need to. I think a lot of this, like we've been talking about, comes down to staying in the moment, stay in the day. Don't get caught up in this future goal, this future version of yourself. You can be your best self every day just by small little changes. I think that's the key. At least I found some success in that. I think you have too, Alex.
Yeah, there's definitely value in being present.
Mm.
Um, yeah, just owning the day, not thinking too much about the future. I think, if nothing else, it helps your mental state.
Yes. And
So,
that's one of the most important things, right? Is your mental state. That's where it
absolutely.
all starts.
So tomorrow, excuse me, next week we're thinking about doing maybe a sports episode. But what's one thing we can do this next week, Zach, to keep this momentum going, keep stacking little victories?
Well, Alex, I think I'm gonna keep this meditation going up for 1:30 every day. I'm gonna set an alarm and try to do at least 5 minutes. And I'm also gonna look into a Zoom yoga class. Those are my goals for next week, and what we can check in
Okay.
on those. How about you?
I'll send you a link, and we'll do what time is you have a lunch break? I'm assuming
Yeah, I
we
can
can
I,
do
I could
half hour yoga.
take it whenever. Half-hour yoga. That'd be nice.
All right, we'll do it together. Okay, I'll
That
send you a link.
that sounds great.
All right, excellent. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Look
Yeah.
next week. Stay tuned. Maybe a sports episode, maybe not. We'll let you know. Thanks for listening.
Uh, Come on back.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to another episode of All Right, Shut Up. Make sure to go ahead and leave us a review, help us grow the podcast.
All right, shut up. Catch us next week on all your favorite podcast sites.